Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find? Would you kindly get this?
Okay, people. So I finally finished Fire Emblem Three Houses. At least I finished the Golden Deer campaign. I'll probably finish the other two campaigns somewhere way further down the line because this was a trek right here, people. This was 112 hours for a campaign. Yes, people, it was that long, and honestly, I don't really feel... I feel satisfied, but I don't feel fulfilled with this game. And as you can see with the image, I have the final stage complete, the end, the main character. I married Hilda, so you know I'm not bullcrapping you. And I did actually finish the game, but this game was good. Don't get me wrong, and I would highly recommend anybody to buy it because there's just way too much gameplay and way too much things to be found, especially when you have 2 extra campaigns, and I believe one campaign has 2 alternate routes, or 1 alternate route totaling to 2, but this definitely isn't one of my favorite Fire Emblem games, I'm sorry. Byleth wasn't really much of a main character. A main character like Chrom is exponentially better. I mean, Eliwood or Roy, Marth, a lot of people, Lynn. There's I can name a billion Fire Emblem characters that are better than Byleth. Now, I played the Golden Deer and I had Claude. Claude was good. My whole team is 100% overpowered because once I figured out how to properly raise people and properly get people into the classes exactly when they hit the level, and class mastery, and doing things like making a choke point with my tower knights and things of that nature, while people had broken training bows, hitting people forever and ever and ever just to get class mastery. Yeah, I did all that, people. And my team was a biblical beast. This game was absolutely easy, even on hard, even on classic mode. In all facets of the game, it was easy. I never really felt like I was in any kind of danger. And with the ability to rewind up to, I believe, 10 times by the time I finished the game, it's like, the game is brain dead easy. The game definitely needed a harder difficulty level, especially considered a Fire Emblem game. This game, well, compared to Conquest, this game was an absolute cakewalk. Byleth was a great character. I mean, he had low defense as the... What was his class? Let me see. I had him as an enlightened one. His only weakness was he had, I don't know, low defense. Claude was an absolute biblical beast as a Barbarossa. Lorenz was unstoppable as a Dark Knight. Raphael was unmatchable as a War Master. Now, Lorenz could just basically one-shot everybody. Claude had that bow which he could just critical hit anybody. Raphael with an evasion ring can't be touched, and he just critical hits everybody. My archers were Ignatz. I had Leone and Shamir. I had them all as bow knights, and you give every archer a critical ring and they just become unstoppable with brave bows and killer bows. They just can't be beat. Lysithea ended up being a Grimoire, and she just one-shots everything. She just has, I mean, she's a glass cannon character, can't really take anything, but her magic is just literally unstoppable. One-shots anything, monsters, bosses, final boss, you name it, she kills it. Marianne's good. I turned her into a Holy Knight, so she was my mobile healer. Never really attacked with her, she had some pretty good spells. Hilda became an unstoppable Great Knight, which she really couldn't even be damaged. I mean, you use those resistance items to give her resistant boosts, and she really just can't be touched. Seth, he was a madman as a Wyvern Lord, one of the better characters. Flane was my dancer. I didn't use Hainman. I mean, he learned Meteor, so he probably was a beast. Never really used him. Manuela, I always used him as an used her as an adjunct with Violet or whoever my main tank was, so she could heal. Catherine was just an absolute biblical beast as a mortal savant, and as a sword master, she was a beast too. I mean, you hook her up with what weapons did I give her? Gave her. Well, first of all, she has her Thunderbrand, which is insane. You give her a Killing Edge, a Wodow, a Curse Aisha sword, a Critical Ring, and she'll just tear through everything. Critical hits automatically. It's not even fair. I didn't like Cyril, and that was pretty much my team. Didn't lose one character. The only person I recruited from any other team was Dorothy. She was a mage. Dorothy, however you pronounce it. Just whatever. I mean, the characters were okay. Nobody really special. I didn't get attached to really anybody. Graphics were meh. I mean, I'm sounding like this game is really meh, but it was really the same thing every level. You mean you had the same skirmishes every time, on the same 5 to 6 maps every time. The music wasn't really anything special. I did appreciate the voice acting. The relationships between characters were okay. I mean, the only thing you could do was adjunct people. You couldn't, pair them up, which I did like pairing them up. Battles were just way too easy. I just felt like you literally one-shot everybody. And once you got brave weapons, the game became broke. Brave weapons are completely overpowered. There weren't a lot of variety in maps. The only thing I did like was there was no artillery, but I don't know, man. This just seemed like such a buy. I mean, I originally thought that Awakening was a by-the-numbers Fire Emblem, but this was a by-the-numbers Fire Emblem completely. The story wasn't at all interesting at all for the Golden Deer. I really couldn't even tell you what really happened. We fought for a church. We trained up people. We taught people. A war came. 2 people went their own separate ways. There was a 5-year time skip. There was 10 ultimate heroes. A final boss. The people that slither beneath the surface. Somehow they were launching nuclear missiles, and I don't know. The story was meh. The characters were okay. The gameplay is your typical Fire Emblem. The difficulty was meh. It was way too easy. The maps were probably the weakest maps I've ever seen in any Fire Emblem. There were no, like, battles on ships or anything exotic or... I don't know, man. I mean, maybe the other 2 campaigns were better, but Claude was an okay character. I mean, I did like the monastery, walking around, meeting characters, talking to people, leveling up, answering questions, doing quests, having the dinners, doing the lesson plans, but after a while, it's like, why can't I just do this instead of just walking around, spending time and effort, just wasting time? This game took 120 hours. I could probably guarantee you 30 of that was going through the monastery, making sure everybody was trained properly, everybody had the right equipment, repairing it. It was cool at the first 5 stages, but then it just became annoying. It really did. And then the quests were nothing but fetch quests, have the right thing, or fight the same kind of random battle. I don't know, I like the dungeons better in Echoes. I mean, I don't know, guys. I mean, again, if you're a Fire Emblem fan, it's obviously a must-buy game. But as a Fire Emblem goes, it really wasn't anything special to me. Maybe when I go through the other 2 campaigns of Dimitri and Eldegard, those campaigns will be better. I'll probably do reviews of them afterwards, but I gotta get on to streaming a Patreon quest, so that won't come later. As far as the final rating for this game, I can't give it anything lower than a 7 because I feel like it's a good game. But I can't give it anything higher than a 7 because I don't feel like it's a great game. It's a nice, solid game. It's not terrible. But to me, it doesn't do anything to stand out to be great. And even then, even as far as Fire Emblem games go, it's not even one of the top Fire Emblem games. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. It's a solid entry. It's a welcome addition to the Nintendo Switch, but I really don't feel indifferent anyway, meaning that I don't feel like the game is crap, but I don't feel like the game is good or great. I feel like the game is solid. So my final rating, I give it a solid 7. If you want to buy it, go for it. If you can get it on sale, I'd pick it up immediately because you know Nintendo games never go on sale. I want to do a live stream on this, take feedback and everything, but I went to a live stream and I don't know what is going on YouTube. So, a little late night upload for you guys. Catch you later. Enjoy your night.